So you pick up the pen you know is a smooth writer, and then suddenly, bam! You can feel it, you can hear it, it has become scratchy. However, sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between feedback, which is okay, and scratchiness, which means there's something wrong. But what causes either of them? We're gonna answer that. But before we dive in too deep, there are some things you can do first. Clean your pen. Seriously, there are like 80% of problems that we encounter here that are fixed by the customer cleaning their pen. A nasty nib probably isn't creating scratchiness, but beginning any troubleshooting process with a clean pen is just a smart move. So I'm going to cover some common issues that could cause your pen to feel scratchy and how to fix them. If your pen is not writing at all, or gushing ink, or writing inconsistently, check out the other videos that I've listed in the description below. Quick disclaimer for you. So we have a process for helping you with your fountain pen if you've bought it from us. So please reach out to us before you attempt any manipulations. We're not held responsible for any damage you may do to your pen while trying to fix it. This video is meant to be a quick, basic troubleshooting assist based on our successful experiences with our customers. Let's first talk about what scratchiness is. This golf ball here is textured. This ping pong ball is smooth. Does that mean that the golf ball is scratchy? No, but it's going to feel noticeably different and might not be what you prefer. Still though, nothing wrong with it. Personally, I prefer it. Feedback is when your nib's tipping material has a bit of texture to it, but scratchiness is very different. And that's when the tipping is catching on to the paper fibers. And that's what we're talking about today. So what causes it? For context, we're going to cover what would cause your nib to be scratchy. The most common and general cause of a scratchy nib is a misalignment of the tines. Allow me to demonstrate. This will be a misalignment of the tines and thus a misalignment of the tipping material. If one tine is higher than the other, it will cause this tine to drag against the page. And if you're writing and one direction seems to be much more scratchy than the other, either that way or maybe that way, then that's a pretty dead ringer for a misalignment. Another potential cause of scratchiness is if the nib and feed are not symmetrical and the slit of the nib doesn't follow the path of the feed. It could push one tine higher than the other and cause scratchy writing. Same as what I just mentioned, but by way of a different cause. Or maybe it's a new pen that you got and it's just off. It's very possible that the grind on the tipping material has an imperfection, even if the tines, the nib, and the feed are all in their proper alignment. So what can you do? First, you can use a loop or magnification to try to diagnose the issue. It's always a good idea to just take a look. You can learn more about how to use one of those in this video. Another important thing to do is to reset and realign the nib and the feed by removing and reinstalling them back into alignment. Everything should be straight and even. Consider your pressure and angle. Your nib can definitely catch onto the paper if you're rotating your grip in conjunction with some downward pressure. Ease up on the pressure and rotate your pen and adjust your angle to see if perhaps the angle that you're using isn't conducive to the pen's tipping shape. Gently adjust the alignment if you feel good about that. If you've got this one lower and that is causing scratchiness going that way, then you can take this part of the tines, bend it down a little bit and see if it aligns itself. Or you don't want to try to bend everything upwards because that's moving things away from the feed. If you can, try to bend things down. So if this one is too high, bend this one down. Vice versa, if this one's too high, try to just bend it down a little bit and check often. Every time you make a manipulation, check it because you don't want to overdo anything, right? Make sure that it looks good. Put it to paper, make sure that it's not scratchy anymore. Just move and check and move and check and move and check. You could take your nib off the feed to make all of these manipulations easier. However, when you reinsert it, depending on the pen, the pressure that gets put on the nib while it's inserted with the feed could end up making some things misaligned and undo your hard work. So I would recommend doing any major alignments off the feed, reinstalling it, And then if anything is off, doing your kind of more small manipulations with everything installed. Again, only start manipulating your nib if you're careful and confident. This could void your warranty with the manufacturer or disqualify you from a store's return policy. If you're unable to get the pen the way you want it or feel like you shouldn't try, seeking the assistance of a nib technician is the best bet. I'll include several links for some in the description below. These talented professionals can also smooth your nib to meet your personal preferences, even if there's nothing technically wrong with it. They'll know the right questions to ask you so that they can get your pen writing just the way you want. If you want your nib to be a little bit more smooth, you can also use micromesh or mylar to get that done. We have additional videos on that as well. Of course, if it's an option, you could also purchase a replacement nib. Hopefully that helps. I wish you the very best of luck in your fountain pen adventures. Have fun, write on.